And welcome back to the program. This is the Red Raider Rundown on KTXT, the Raider 88.1. Former Texas Tech running back Baron Batch was in Lubbock for a few days this week. He stopped by the KTXT studios here yesterday to hang out and was a guest on the Good Morning Texas Tech show, which airs Monday and Tuesday at 8 a.m. After their show, Josh Cook, our KTXT sports director, interviewed Batch, and we have that piece for you right now. Let's take a listen to Josh and former Tech running back Baron Batch.
Josh Cook joined here by Pittsburgh Steelers running back and former Texas Tech running back Baron Batch. Baron, thanks for taking some time with us today.
Absolutely.
When you look at your career being back in Lubbock, what's it like now? You are 2 to 3 years removed. 3 years removed. Mm-hmm. I remember when I got here to college, you were still playing. So that tells me I'm about to graduate. So I'm like, oh my gosh,
it goes quick.
It does go quick. What was it like when your college career was over and then you ended up in the NFL? Was it that dream come true moment for you?
Yeah, it's one of those things you when you start playing, most kids dream about at some point playing on Sundays, and for me, I've got to do that, and it's been amazing. So it's definitely a dream come true, and but it's been a lot of work, and it's definitely had its ups and downs.
I know you've been through a few injuries throughout your NFL career and also your collegiate career. What's it like coming back injury after injury and just having to overcome that adversity once again, but then see yourself succeed and know all the work that you put into the rehab paid off?
Yeah, it's life. It's not just sports, but that's just how life goes. Things are going to happen. You're going to have your ups and downs in life. And my whole philosophy is just don't quit and have faith. Just don't quit and have faith, and things will turn out good. You'll have your ups and downs, but when you have your ups, you'll appreciate them, and when you have your downs, you'll learn from them. And that's how life goes, and that's how I feel like if you want to truly enjoy life, that's kind of the mentality that you have to have.
The city of Pittsburgh, what's that been like for you? You go from Lubbock, Texas to Pittsburgh. What was the change? What was the challenges you faced moving up there?
They're so different, but in ways very similar. Lubbock, for the most part, is kind of a blue-collar town. Loves football. It's all about football, and in that aspect, it's very similar to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's it's a blue-collar town, and they are crazy about their football. Yeah, way less rust, less bridges, less rivers, but it's kind of it's a lot the same. It's bigger. I've never lived in a huge city. It's funny story. Here, you have to, there's some crosswalks that you have to walk across and stuff, but there it's like in the city, you have to know when to sprint across, the crosswalks and get across. So there'd be times that it got to the point where I just wouldn't cross the streets there unless the little hand would come and wave me across and be like, hey, it's okay, Baron, you can come across the street now. There'd be no cars coming. I would just be the one person there, and people would start going out on the street, and I'd just say, man, I'm not going, man. I'm not used to this. I'm not used to the big city. So now it's the point where I'm dodging cars and jumping through traffic and getting across the street. But it's a change, but it's cool. I love Pittsburgh, but it's always good to come back to West Texas.
Talk about the organization, getting to work with Mike Tomlin and Ben Roethlisberger and all those guys there. What's it like going from a collegiate program to an NFL program where you go from being a senior to being the new guy on campus, essentially? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just like, you hit the nail on the head. It's just that, it's you go from being the man in your conference or at your school or whatever, and every rookie goes through this, and then all of a sudden you're just at the bottom of the totem pole, having to do rookie duties and all these things that you're not necessarily used to because you've gotten used to kind of being the guy at wherever you were at before. So, but at the same time, it's fun. It's a new start. It's refreshing, and I honestly believe the Steelers are one of the best organizations in sports. They do things the right way. They treat guys the right way. They're honest, and it's something I appreciate. And it's just been a tremendous experience. Getting coached by Coach Tomlin and getting to work with some of those players that you see. They're all great.
Well, when you first got there, who was the first athlete you got to meet with the organization? Who was the one athlete you wanted to go meet in the NFL?
It's kind of funny. I never, I didn't watch a lot of sports growing up, and even and to this day, I don't watch a ton of football. A lot of people don't believe me, but I outside of work, I don't watch a lot of football. I'll catch the Tech games and stuff, but that's about it. So I wasn't when I got to Pittsburgh, I wasn't really starstruck by anybody, but at the same time, it was just crazy to kind of be sitting with a guy like Troy when his Head and Shoulders commercials come on, at lunch or something like that. It's just like, dude, that's you on the. That's weird. But all those guys are really cool, down to earth, and none of those guys act like superstars. They're just all just cool guys. Just dudes with cool jobs.
I think that is one of the misconceptions sometimes with, I guess, superstar athletes is, in the media, we see them as someone's rolling up in a Cadillac and, diamond this and that. But y'all are just guys doing what y'all love to do. And I think that's sometimes things that are overlooked.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like there's kind of a rift between the fan and the athlete because of that reason. And I try to be... That's one reason why I try hard to be as down to earth as possible and as real as possible. And some people take that as sometimes me being arrogant or being mean, but it's it's just like me being a guy and me being a regular person, and it's interesting because I feel like people are really starting to kind of realize that they're just like, oh, he's just a guy, just like me, and that's just so true. I have a different job, I have a different profession, but I'm just a regular guy. I like to hang out, do the same things, and I'm trying to break down the barrier as much as I can in that stereotype, as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. When looking at the Steelers and watching them over the last few years and watching you play, especially on Twitter, especially whenever you run out on the field, there's all these tweets, and at Baron Batch is on the field, Baron Batch is playing. I had to get used to you wearing number 20 instead of 25 because I always looked for 25 because that's what you wore at Tech. What was that moment like when you first ran out into the NFL field on a Sunday? And was it surreal almost that you were on an NFL field?
Yeah, the first game we were playing, it was my first preseason game. We played the Eagles, and it was kind of weird because I was in the NFL for a whole year before I got to actually play a game because I tore my knee up in training camp before we actually played any preseason games. So this last year was kind of my second year, but in a way my rookie year. So it's definitely surreal. And you look across and you see those guys that you watched play when you were a kid, and like Mike Vick and those guys. And after the game, you walk over to them and tell them good game. And I mean, it's definitely surreal, and it's just a cool experience. But at the end of the day, it's something that I don't want playing in the NFL to be the pinnacle of my life, and look back and be like, that was the best time of my life, and that's why, I feel like it's important to just stay grounded and explore other things and just enjoy life and have different hobbies, because, I mean, if anybody knows that football can be gone in an instant, it's me, and it's happened before. So it's a cool experience.
Now, we all know you a lot of people know you for your play on the field, but off the field, you're very grounded in your faith. You're very grounded in that. I think there was a video on YouTube. I can't remember the name of it now.
Yeah, the I Am Second video.
I Am Second video, which I did watch yours and Josh Hamilton's, and it's a very touching video. What does it mean to you to be able to do things like that and not be seen as a superstar athlete, but just a guy that is grounded in his faith? Yeah,
I think when My goal at the end of my playing days was when people look back and say, what kind of player was I, and talk about that they, that's not necessarily the thing that they talk about. They talk about things that necessarily weren't on the field or plays that I made, but lives that I was able to impact and things I was able to do in the community and just how I was as a person. Because at the end of the day, someone's gonna. Someone currently is wearing number 25 here at Tech. Someone's going to wear number 20 with the Steelers. I took somebody's number, and they wore number 20, and you fade away as a player. But the lives you impact and the way you make people feel, that kind of stays forever, and that's your legacy. And I try to keep that in mind as much as possible. I try to tell people that as much as possible. It's all about the people you impact and the fingerprint you leave on their lives. When you're gone, and they'll remember that. So that's what I want to be remembered from.
And this upcoming season, as you mentioned, last season was kind of your first full season. Now, kind of entering your second season, kind of moving up the depth chart a little bit with the Steelers. What do you expect out of this season? What do you want out of this season for yourself and for the Steelers?
The Steelers' goals it's simple every year. It's win the Super Bowl. Every year we come into training camp, Coach Tomlin makes that very clear. He says, it's not about making the playoffs. It's not about having a winning season. It's not about winning the conference. We want to win a trophy, and that's the goal, period. And if we don't do that, then we didn't accomplish our goals. Personally, every year I say this as I go into a season, I want to be a better player than I was the last season at the end of the upcoming season. And it's simple goals, and it's just kind of baby steps to get there, 1 week at a time. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about coming into this year, almost 2 years removed from my ACL injury. I feel like I wasn't necessarily healthy till the middle of the season this past year. So we'll see. I'm really excited about it.
Well, we appreciate the time, Baron. Good luck this upcoming season
Absolutely.
with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.